All right, beginners, if you're tired of getting tricked, trapped, and absolutely destroyed in the opening, this is the video for you. Today I'm showing you 7 of the deadliest chess traps that actually work, and more importantly, how to use them before they get used on you. So starting off, we're going to show the Petroff defense. It starts e4, e5, mate to f3, so we're attacking this pawn. Instead of defending the pawn, black just mirrors us. It'd be the same exact thing we do. And this is very dangerous because if we take and they take, how we're going to parse this is we're going to play queen b e2. And now if they keep mirroring us and play queen d e7, we just take this. And they're not going to be able to take here because we're going to take the queen and be completely winning. So after we play queen d e2, black is better advised to do something like move their knight. So if they move their knights, this sets up the Petroff trap. And here, we play the nasty discover check, knight to c6, attacking the queen, attacking the king, winning the game. The only way to deal with it is to either block the bishop or a queen or a knight. Every single one of them is just loses material. The knight is going to be able to take a queen if it lands on e7, and that's going to be the game. So next is the Dano trap. So that starts e4, e5, knight to f3, very similar start. But here, instead of finding knight to f6, black plays f6. They try to defend his e5 pawn, but we don't care. We're going to take this anyway, sacrifice the knight, and after f takes e5, bring our queen out to h5, give a check, and we're also attacking this pawn on e5, which is really important. So if the king goes up, we actually have a very messy series of checks where this king is going to be forced into the corner, and this check here is going to be disgusting, and black is just in terrible shape. And after this check, if black tries to block it with g6, we're going to take on e5 with check, and we're actually forking the king and the rook, so we're going to win material in the game. Next up is the Noah's Ark trap. This is a very old trap, but it's very important to know. So knight to f6, we're going to look at knight c6, so black tries to defend his pawn, and then bishop to b5 is the Roy Lopez. This is the oldest opening in the book. It's played so many turns. And after a6, bishop to a4, d6, white tries to play e4 to strike in the center, but this is unfortunately not going to work because after b5, the bishop goes to b3. Black will take on d4 with the knight. After they take back, and the queen takes. This bishop is in terrible shape. And after c5, and the queen was somewhere, c4, this bishop is trapped, and we're just wetting a piece right out of the opening. Now if the queen goes to b5 instead, all black has to do is play bishop to e6, which defends the rook, which was attacked, and also defends the mate. And after this, a move like c4 here is going to be wearing because the rook is protected. Moving on, let's go to the fishing pole. The fishing pole can start in other ways, but the way I'm going to show is after e4, e5, just like we've seen before, mate to f3, mate to c6, white just develops a bishop. Black brings this knight out, and after castles, black sets up the trap by playing mate to g4. This knight on g4 is not very well placed, but it could induce the weakness if white isn't careful. And if white falls for the trap, they'll play h3, seemingly natural move, attacking the knight. But we're going to play h5, sacrifice the knight, and after they take, black takes back. The knight has to move. It's under attack. And once it moves, the queen goes to the h file, and it teams up with this rook to deliver a checkmate on the h file. The next trap is the Siberian trap. Starts after e4, c5, e4. This is called the Smith or a gambit, or it is gambiting a pawn. So black's going to win a pawn, but Cashew black has the trap in the back pocket after knight c6,
e6, queen c7. This is very similar to the fishing pole, where after white castles, they play mate to g4, try to attack this h2 pawn, potentially team up with this queen, and black has good pressure here. And the trap, again, is set as soon as white plays h3. So this move, out of the key move in multiple of these traps, because it's a weakening move, and it doesn't actually do that much, because here, instead of dealing with this threat, black can play the brilliant knight to d4. Because here, the knight is controlling the square, but the knight can't take, because the knight is overworked. It was doing a job. It was controlling h2 for about 3, and now it's not. So it needs to stay on f3, controlling h2, otherwise it's going to get checkmated. So after mate to d4, there's actually nothing that white can do. It doesn't just immediately lose material. So if they take here, black is just going to take the queen and be up material and win the game. So that is the fishing pole. And next is the Caro-Kann. So the Caro-Kann starts with c6, and then white plays this system called the two knights. They bring them both of their knights out, and black takes in the center, white recaptures with the knights. And after mate to f6, instead of retreating or taking, white keeps attention in the center, plays queen to e2, protecting at knight. And after a move like mate to d7, the trap has been set, utilize this queen on e2, controlling this e file by playing knight to d6, checkmate in 6 moves. Because this pawn is pinned, it cannot take the knight, and the king can't move. It's smothered by its own pieces. Beautiful checkmate in only 6 moves. Lastly, I'm going to show you the known or Barry gambit that starts after the fetch defense, which is e6, and then d4, d5, d5. This is the advanced variation, where it is advancing past black, Vacker c5 at c3. Black's plan is to attack this d4 square. So they go about this by bringing their queen and the knight to attack the square. And white is going to say, all right, you can go ahead and have this pawn on d4. You can go ahead and take it. But this is exactly what white wants. And after knight takes d4, queen takes d4, it sets up the devastating bishop b5 check. Discover check, winning the queen.
If you caught at least one trap you're going to try in your next game, hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite or which one you've already fallen for. And remember, in chess, if something looks too good to be true, it probably is. See you in the next one.